If your ability to jump magically disappeared, do you think that would affect your life? Jumping is probably something we don't think of often and maybe even take for granted. If we can't reach something on the top shelf, we jump. If we come across a big puddle or something dangerous on the ground, we jump over it. Even when we're happy, jumping for joy is a way we express our emotions. While we are used to living with the ability to jump, there are some mammals out there that live perfectly well without it. Welcome to another episode of the Animal Booth. Today, we're going to uncover the few mammals on Earth that can't jump and why. Let's start with elephants. Elephants have many impressive abilities that help them out in life. They can run 25 miles per hour. The average human runs around 8 miles per hour, and trained athletes around 15 miles per hour. So don't even try to outrun an elephant because you will lose. They have huge tusks that can impale you. That would really hurt. They are also incredibly strong, mainly due to their massive size. In fact, they are the strongest mammals on Earth. They are the biggest and heaviest animals found on land, with African bush elephants weighing between 11,000 to 15,000 pounds, and Asian elephants weighing between 7,700 to 10,000 pounds. Their trunks alone are able to lift more than 700 pounds, as well as help them get a hold of things that are several feet out of reach. But despite all of those amazing abilities, there is one thing elephants can't do. They can't jump. So why can't they? There are a few reasons why, but let's start with the most obvious one. They're way too heavy. I mean, the same is kind of true for humans too, right? The heavier someone is, the harder it is for them to jump. And if they do jump, it often isn't very high at all. So it would be unfair of us to expect our elephant friends to make it high in the sky with the weight that they have. When we think about smaller animals, jumping is a tactic they use to protect themselves by escaping from predators. But elephants simply don't need to defend themselves in this way. Their size alone is a natural defense mechanism, especially paired with the fact that they live in tight-knit herds. If you mess with one, you mess with all. And things would end very badly for any predator that tries to take on a herd of elephants. Another reason why it's impossible for elephants to jump is because of their bone structure. In relation to their body, their legs are too slender to be able to send all their weight upwards. While their legs are strong enough to support their weight, they aren't strong enough for the impact of a jump. In order to be able to jump, an animal needs to have flexible ankles, strong calf muscles, and strong Achilles tendons, all of which elephants don't have. Their ankles are not very flexible, and the muscles and tendons in their legs aren't strong enough to support the movement of a jump. Despite all this, elephants don't seem to mind that they can't jump and cope perfectly well without it. But did you know there are other mammals that can't jump either? Sloths join the elephant as another mammal that can't jump. They are known as the slowest mammals on Earth, moving at around 14 feet per minute in the trees and even slower on the ground at around 10 feet per minute. That comes out to less than a mile an hour. That's enough time for algae to grow on their fur since their slow movement doesn't interrupt the process. Every once in a while, they do get in the water and, surprisingly, can swim at speeds of up to 44 feet per minute, or half a mile an hour, which is 3 times faster than their speed on land. I know that's still not very fast at all, but let's give the sloths some credit. Because of their restrictive diet of leaves, sloths don't have much energy. Because of this, they spend most of their time resting in place or sleeping. With so much sleeping being done, they have low muscle mass, which is one of the reasons why they are unable to jump, along with the fact that they don't have the required speed to pull it off. That's why they feel safest up in the trees and rarely climb down. They are most vulnerable on the ground. If a predator attacks them, they are unable to jump out of its reach or run away. For that reason, sloths will only climb down the safety of their tree once a week to relieve themselves. Can you imagine waiting so long between bathroom breaks? I guess if you had to choose between holding it and being eaten alive, you'd probably hold it too. Rhinoceroses can't jump either. They are the second largest land animal, and similar to elephants, they are simply too heavy to propel themselves off the ground. Depending on the species, they weigh anywhere between 1,700 to 8,000 pounds. Rhinos actually have very weak feet. They support the majority of their weight on the tips of their toes. Not doing so can result in sore, swollen, or cracked feet with a higher risk of getting infected. When pairing their sensitive feet with their massive weight, it is easy to see why rhinos can't jump. I wouldn't want to jump either if I weighed 8,000 pounds and had all that weight crash down on my fragile feet. However, unlike elephants, sometimes rhinos can give the illusion of jumping when they run, because they can pick up all 4 feet off the ground at the same time. Another mammal that can jump is the hippopotamus. On average, they weigh between 2,800 to 4,000 pounds, although some have been recorded as weighing near 10,000 pounds. This not only makes it impossible for them to jump, but did you know that they technically can't swim either? I know, we've all seen videos of hippos charging fast underwater, but that doesn't necessarily mean they swim. In fact, hippos move in the water by propelling themselves off the bottom of the river, or simply walking across the bottom when the water is shallow enough. They are also incredibly buoyant, which allows them to essentially float towards the surface. They can even control their breathing in ways that allow them to either sink or come back up to the surface. But be warned, if you ever see a hippo, it's best to steer clear. While they may look like cuddly, chubby, harmless lumps of blubber, they are actually really aggressive and dangerous. They're responsible for killing around 500 people each year in Africa. So even though they can jump, they still have other abilities that could cause some serious damage. The last animal we'll talk about today is the giraffe. Giraffes are the tallest mammals in the world. Their extremely long legs and neck are to thank for that. And you guessed it, they also don't jump. This is mainly because they really don't need to. Nothing is ever out of reach for a giraffe, making jumping unnecessary. They can reach between 14 to 18 feet tall and weigh between 1,500 to 4,000 pounds, depending on their gender. While their height does come with some advantages, there are also some disadvantages too. Because of their weight and how tall and lanky their body structure is, they don't jump because their thin, wobbly legs would not be able to support them or absorb the impact of the jump. It would likely result in them falling and becoming injured. Apart from not being able to jump, they are also too tall to be able to normally drink water from a watering hole and need to awkwardly spread their front legs and bend their knobby knees. That looks pretty uncomfortable if you ask me. I think I'd rather be a hippo so I wouldn't have to worry about any of that. Did you find this list of animals that can't jump interesting? Let us know if you did. Would you rather live like a slow sloth or be as tall as a giraffe? Leave us a comment below letting us know. Thanks for watching.